at Indian Echo Caverns.
We know a few things about this ad. Lebanon, Pennsylvania is only 30 minutes away, but that company has been out of business for over 100 years. So that gives you an idea of how old these writings are, right? Also, the Caverns are not a good advertisement company. Now, we are inside of a really special place. This used to be an underground river. Thousands of years ago, water used to exit from this area towards the creek. But eventually, the water dried out, and then natural formations. Oh, nobody else is coming. I guess they didn't like it. Follow me, let's go this way. Now, before I turn on the lights, can you guys hear the echo? So this is the reason of our name, the Indian Echo Caverns, and take a look. Is she feeling okay? Or she doesn't like it? Oh, okay, no problem. Alright guys, so what do you think about this room? It's way more impressive, right? This room is 110 feet from side to side, 49 feet high. We are right under that house that we saw when the tour started. So that house is actually right up here, and there's about 45 feet of soil and rocks between that point and the base of the house. We are pretty safe here, if you're wondering. We call this room the Indian Ballroom, and you guys heard the echo, right? And that's the reason why we're calling Indian Echo Caverns. This room is larger than any other room, because right here, two underground streams used to meet. One used to come from the east part of the cavern, the other used to come from the north. So, thousands of years ago, water rushing into this room is what made this room so large. At some point, there was so much water flowing through here that the water used to touch the ceiling. And that's why if you guys look up, you'll see waves done by the water as the water used to spin and spin, little by little and year after year. But this was a long time ago. The water eventually dried out, and then all these natural formations started growing. Can you guys hear the water dripping? The caverns are wet. We had a little bit of rain about a week ago, and every single one of these natural formations is here because of that, because of the water. When it rains, the water filters through the soil. This rainwater mixes with carbon dioxide, so it becomes slightly acidic. This acidic water filters through the rock. This type of rock is limestone. And limestone has a mineral called calcium carbonate. So when the water filters through the rock, it carries the calcium carbonate to the caverns. And here, sometimes the temperature is Are you guys getting wet? Well, there's a saying about getting wet, so keep this in mind. If you get a drop of water on your head, you get 1 year of good luck. If you get a drop of water on your nose, that's a little bit harder, so you get 5 years of good luck. If you get water anywhere else, you're just getting wet. So move over. This room is the blue room, and if you look up, you'll see the limestone, that nice blue color. But my favorite part of this room is the shapes. You're going to see a lot of cool shapes, and they are connected to a story. Do you guys like stories? A little bit? I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. People say that there used to be a giant here at the Caverns. This giant, he used to like to read at night. So one night he was laying down in the floor, he was reading a story, and then he heard a really loud, "Achoo!" He got really scared. The giant got up, he hit his head right over there, and look at the hole he made. Then he fell to the floor, and as he was falling, the giant kicked the ceiling. Look at his footprint. The giant threw his book away, he left it right up there. And then he got up, he ran as fast as he could. The giant wanted to know what was going on, so the giant came back. When the giant came back, he found someone. He found a wizard hiding up there. And he asked him, "Was it you who made that loud sound?" He said, "No, it wasn't me. It was my pet." The wizard had a dragon as a pet. Can you guys see it? He's still here.
I see it.
He's looking at us. If you take a step a little bit closer to this side of the wall, you're going to see the dragon better. Take a look. We have an eye, nose, mouth and teeth, neck, and claws. So that loud sound was the dragon sneezing. The dragon was sick. So the wizard made his pet, the dragon, a scarf. And he's wearing his scarf today. He never got sick again. So the giant came back and everyone lived happily ever after. The end. Be careful. Alright guys, in this room I'm going to ask you to turn off your screens, your lights, just for a minute. Because in this room I want to show you how dark the caverns really are. So everybody close your eyes. You need to get it? Go ahead. Close your eyes and open your eyes. Now wave your hand right in front of your nose. Can you see it? Nope. This is how dark the caverns really are. And people used to come with only candles and lanterns. Can you guys imagine that? It would be really hard to explore the caverns like this. The worst part of candles and lanterns is that they are not reliable. You would have to crawl your way out of the cavern. But we no longer live in the 1700s or the 1800s.
Did you make out the right?
No, it's better. This room is beyond that white house that we saw in the beginning. We're by the woods, 90 feet deep. But these areas, you guys can see it's completely blocked. Well, what happened here was that this section of the caverns collapsed. This is actually a sinkhole. A long time ago, thousands of years ago, this section of the caverns collapsed, and that also created a second entrance to the caverns. So all the way up there, that used to be a natural opening. From there to the surface, it's a vertical wall. It's about 20 feet. It wasn't safe. People could fall. So for safety, that entrance has been blocked. And this is as far as the east part of the cavern goes, but we still have the north part to explore, right? Do you guys have any questions? Then everybody turn around. We're going to go back to the Indian ballroom. You guys are going to lead the way. Go ahead.
Is it cold? Yeah. Yep, it's warm.
Warm.
This looks like sugar on some of this stuff. It looks so white, it's almost like sugar.
That's a great question. So, this is flowstone. When the water drips and stays there, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the water to evaporate and the formation. If you look a little bit closer, you notice it kind of looks like sugar or salt. One of those faces is flat. And when we shine it, the light reflects. And it's the same here. It's a calcium carbonate. We see it in very few parts here, maybe on the way there, you notice it, and you'll see it a little bit more in the next part of the camera. Are you guys getting wet? Don't forget, keep track of those years of the box. This is the wall of imagination. We have a lot of interesting shapes. If you look up there, for example, you see skyscrapers, Central Park, and more skyscrapers. So it looks like New York City upside down. That one over there looks like an owl. And right under the owl, we have two lovebirds. But if you're not romantic, that's salt and pepper shakers. That one over there, we call it the tree, and lots of jellyfish under the tree. Let's see if you guys see what I see. So this next one, I'm going to shine it, but you guys tell me if you see it, okay? Take a look. Anything else?
Elephant.
An elephant. Look at the eye, trunk, legs, the rest of the body. Do you guys like chocolate? Think of chocolate for a second and look right over there. It's a Hershey's Kiss, right? And finally, if you like scary movies, we have a scary face. Look there without the light. Can you see it? One more time. It's a scary face. I'm sure you guys noticed that we have a pile of rocks here. We placed the water pump over there. We have a water pump because we do get flooded. Usually it's not too bad, but when it rains, the water filters through the soil, and here we can get flooded. And if it's a lot of rain, we use it. Usually we don't, but after Hurricane the Caverns, this is a man-made tunnel. The beavers built it in 1927 because if you were to take that upper tunnel, you would have to crawl. It's uneven, it's wet, slippery for about 30 feet. Then there's an area that you can walk for a little bit, but then there's a big drop. This was really, really hard to explore. If you're over 5 feet, please be careful, watch your head. If you see a red light, you need to duck, okay? So let's go everybody, follow me. I'm sure by now you have at least a year or two of good luck, right? The north part of the caverns is the wettest part of the cavern. And we are right under the petting zoo on the flagpole area right now. We are 110 feet deep. This room is also the highest. In the highest point, it's 60 feet high. There's a lot of color here, so we call it the rainbow room. In this room, something happened. This is a true story. It happened to 5 explorers. In the year of 1919, they came to the caverns. Back then, they didn't have the tunnels we do now, so they took that upper tunnel that I showed you guys, and that tunnel leads to this area here. So with ropes, they got down, and one of these explorers noticed that right there in that spot, there was a different shape. So one of them climbed up there, and they found a tiny wooden box. This box had really weird symbols all around it. It was locked, so they took it down, they opened the box, and they found 17 coins from all over the world. The oldest coin was from Morocco from 1288, the newest one from Turkey from 1915. They found moonstones and gemstones as well. They could not believe how lucky they were. So they decided to find out who left this box here. They told the story to the newspaper, but no one ever claimed this box. So they kept it. They kept it for many years, but in 1968, out of the 5 explorers, there was only one alive. His name was Russell Siders, and he decided to donate this box to the Indian Echo Caverns. So if you guys want to see the box and all the original contents that were found right up there in 1919, we have this box in the gift shop. It's right by the entrance to the left. We call it the mystery box because it's a mystery who left it here in the caverns. We're going to continue walking in that direction. This is another man-made tunnel. Before this was here, look at the area we would have to explore. It gets super narrow up there as well, so it was really, really hard to explore.
How did they dig the tunnel out?
Great question. Mostly was with dynamite. You're gonna notice in some areas there are drilling holes still for the dynamite.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. Watch your head. Take a look.
Oh yeah.
And this rock is so pretty. Another red light. Watch your head, please be careful. There is a lake up here. Take a look. So we call this lake Crystal Lake. Notice how clear the water is. It's been naturally filtered. Does it seem deep to you? Not much, right? In the deepest point, this lake is 6 feet deep. The water is room temperature, so around 52 degrees. We're going to have another view of this lake So we're going to take this tunnel. Again, this is a man-made tunnel. Follow me. Another view of Crystal Lake to the right.
Yeah. Look at that fire. Isn't that cool? Look at this hole right here.
You know what? I'm going to stay back here. That way you guys can go all the way to the end. Go ahead.
I see it.
Isn't that awesome right there?
Don't forget, guys, don't touch any of these formations, please.
Ooh, cool.
Wow.
You're the last one, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the last room of the north part of the cavern. We are right under the parking lot. Make it in your car, so try to unlock it. Right away. We call this room the wedding chapel, so if any of you guys is looking for a venue, if you want to get married in a cavern, you can do it right here. We have hosted over 50 weddings in this room alone. If you look under the bridge, there's another body of water. We call this one the wedding lake. And this one is a little deeper. It's 8 feet deep in the deepest point. If you look at the flow stand, you'll see lots of little shapes. Since this is the wedding chapel, we have a wedding cake. This one looks like it has a lot of snow, so we call it the snowy mountain. And up here we have the rusty waterfall. This room is the end of the north part of the cavern. Everything else beyond this point has been naturally blocked. Do you guys have any questions?
I do. Yes. Where's the bacon?
Bacon is used by the steps. You can see it down there by the steps.
Is breathing see back there yet?
It's on that end. If you make some room, it's possible to go. In this section of the caverns, you can also see a different type of formation, like the stalactite. But as you can see, it's really long, right? So it does kind of look a little bit like bacon. It's also known as drapery. There's a little bit here.
I don't know.
And you'll see more down the steps. Right over here, as you finish the tunnel, down the steps, top right, you'll see lots of it as well. Do you guys have any questions? Then we're going to go back to the main room. You're going to lead the way. Don't get us lost. Watch your head, guys. Don't forget about the red light. Be careful.
We need one of you, though.
What is that? What?
So we've seen every room of the caverns, but there is only one area up there. It's a tiny room. That is the only area we can really see. But you're not missing a lot. It's just a tiny area. It's probably half the size of Crystal Lake. So it's really tiny. But that's it. Since looks like we are the last tour of the day, I'm going to turn on the lights. It's a little dark. And hold on to the railing, guys. Please be careful. Alright guys, take a look to the right. This is another body of water. We call it Mirror Lake. And if you look at the water, you'll notice a reflection. Surrounding the lake, you'll see lots of columns. Don't forget, columns are the ones that touch the top and the bottom. Please be careful, everybody. Hold on to the railing. We're going to meet in the next room. Watch your step. You guys lead the way. Hold on to the railing. Please be careful, everybody. Watch your step. Hold on to the railing so you go down. Did you guys like the caverns? Yes. If you like this place, what do you think about living here? Would you do it? Would you live here by yourself? No. Well, there was a man who did it. His name was William Wilson. He's known as the Pennsylvania hermit. He lived here in the caverns from 1802 to 1821. He lived here for 19 years. Back then there was no electricity. That's why if you look around, this room is really dark. There's a lot of soot, carbon deposits. But what we think he used to do to sleep was to start a fire there. The heat of the fire would warm the rock. Up there, that area would be nice and cozy. He used to tie a rope, climb up there, and that's where he used to sleep. We know about this man because he kept the journal. He moved to the caverns in the first place after a family tragic event. His sister, Elizabeth, was accused of a crime she didn't commit. She was trialed and later sentenced to be executed. The only person who believed that she was innocent was her brother, and he was able to gather witnesses to prove her innocence, and he did it. He got a pardon from the president, but this was in Washington, D.C. As he started riding his horse back towards